Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Graduate Life and Learning. My name is Simon Muhammad Sami, and I'm a Global Liner Graduate Assistant here. And many of you know, I'm also the president of GPSG. So many of you are already acquainted with our activities. For those of you who are new at the CGLL, our mission is to provide a comfortable and safe environment where graduate students and postdoctoral fellows can work a network and get personal and professional support to enhance their career success. We organize various events every week on a regular basis to help you get through the challenges of graduate life. You will find out about these events on our website, and I'm going to put the link to our calendar in the chat. So today, we are partnering with our International Students and Scholars Office, ISSO, to inform you about the green card application procedures as an international student. We would like to thank ISSO for helping us organize and promote this event with all of you. And finally, and most importantly, of course, we so much appreciate Attorney Mr. Raju Mahajan for being with us here today as our honored guest speaker. A little about him. Mr. Raju Mahajan is an experienced employment-based and investment-based attorney. He has helped a lot of people getting green card all over the US. Mr. Mahajan himself is a poster boy for the American dream. He received his green card through EB2 NIW back in 2014. So he truly understands the extra barriers that many immigrants face when they need legal help. Although he is an expert in employment-based national interest waiver application, he is also sound in EB1, EB2, EB5, E2, Asylum, and family-based green card applications. In today's session, Mr. Mahajan is going to highlight the options that are available for you in green card application processes that are available for you if you're going to apply now or after your graduation. We have already uploaded the recording on YouTube in our channel from our previous sessions if you want to go take a look. And we'll also upload this one later. But as he already mentioned, if you came here early, that you can ask your questions directly at him at the end of the session, or put it in the chat during the presentation, and I'll ask him for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Mahajan.
Thank you, Simon, and thank you everybody who is helping me hosting this event, and especially thanks to all the international students and others who are watching this seminar now or who will watch it later. So as Simon said, today I will focus on mostly EB2 NIW because in recent time, most of the international students, they get green card through NIW. And this is a very important tool, especially those who are in STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, for them to get green card even before graduation. So I tell everybody, especially international students, if you can get a green card even before graduation, that's really helpful for you, because after graduation, if you have a green card, you can bargain with your employers about your salary, about your location, about work hours, everything. You are in upper hand. So today we will focus on NIW, and we will tell you not only for those who already graduated or who are almost graduating, I will tell a few things for the very recent international students, how to get ready for NIW. So the first part would be about NIW, and then I will give you some tips how to get ready for NIW, that in future you can apply for NIW and get approved even before graduation. So before I go to NIW, let me tell a little bit about EB1. Because it will just help you understand about EB2 NIW. So E is a category for employment-based immigration, and employment means like people who come to America as international students, apply for NIW. These are also employment-based immigration. So there's like a EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5, whole big world. I'm not going to discuss everything here. But EB1, sometimes people become confused with EB1 and EB2 NIW. So especially the first one, extraordinary ability. So EB1 is extraordinary ability and NIW is exceptional ability. So there's two words, extraordinary ability and exceptional ability. So for EB1, extraordinary ability means people who are very popular, very famous in their field, like people win a math Olympiad, or like a robotics competition, or like a famous writer or famous musician, famous actor, actress, famous player kind of people. So a lot of time people say, oh, I have award in engineering, or I have award, like a lot of publication. Am I qualified under EB1A, extraordinary ability? The short answer is yes, you qualify, but this is not actually for you. A lot of time we see that people apply under this category and get approved, but again, this is not actually designed for international students or scholars, but sometimes you can get benefit from there too. Second one is outstanding professor, and I'm not going that deep into EB1 because most of you will not qualify for EB1. That's why I'm just going through a little bit, and then I'll focus more on NIW. EB1B is outstanding professors and researchers. So outstanding professors means you have to be a tenured or tenure track teaching position in a university. So a lot of time people say, oh, I'm an adjunct, can I apply? The answer is no. It must be a tenured or tenure track teaching position. And the second one is researchers. And a lot of time people ask me, I'm a postdoc, can I be qualified under this category? The short answer is it depends. In most cases, no, because most of the postdoc programs are designed in a way that this is not a full-time position, this is not a permanent position. So to be a researcher under EB1B, you must be a full-time permanent researcher. So in general, people who work at national labs, they qualify for this, or even a private corporation or government agencies. If you work as a full-time position, a full-time research position, permanent position, then you qualify for this. And for this EB1B, outstanding professors and researchers, you cannot apply by yourself. Your employer, that could be university, that could be government agency, research lab, or private organization, they must apply for you. On the other hand, the first one, EB1A, extraordinary ability, you can apply by yourself. You do not need an employer. The third one is certain multinational managers or executive. So it must be a managerial position, not just entry-level executive. So, and you have to be employed by a company. And let's say you work for Google Corporation and you work in their Berlin office or London office, and they want to transfer you from those Berlin or London office to some American office, then you can take advantage of this EB1C. And again, in this category, your employer, that could be Samsung, that could be Toyota, that could be Google, Microsoft, anybody, they must apply for you. You cannot apply by yourself. And you must be employed in their foreign office for at least 1 year. After that, they can apply. So this is EB1C. Now here is the requirement for EB1B, outstanding professors and researchers. I'm not going that deep, just there's 6 points. You must meet 2 to qualify to apply for that. Again, your employer must apply. So if you think of EB1B, please contact with your employer and see if they're willing to apply for you. Next slide, this is EB1A. There are 10 requirements. You must meet 3 of these to qualify for EB1A. If you qualify, you can apply by yourself. You do not need employment. However, we recommend you meet at least 5 of these 10 criteria, because sometimes USCIS do not agree with us. So they may delete 1 or 2 criteria, and then you must have at least 3 approved criteria to qualify for EB1A. If you are a famous person in your field, you can definitely try EB1A. Now we are in EB2 category. This is the most important for international students. So there are 2 categories in EB2. One is this first 2, advanced degree or exceptional ability. And if you get a job, it could be Google, Microsoft, Samsung, Toyota, or even a small startup company. And if your employer wants to apply for you, that is regular EB2. However, if you take this third route, national interest waiver, then you do not need an employment. You can apply by yourself. And this is the magic thing happens. And I would say 80% of international students who come to America who get green card, they get green card in this category NIW. For this, you do not need employment. So for the first 2, advanced degree and exceptional ability, and if you go to the regular EB2 process, you need employment and your employer must apply. And there are 3 steps. The first step is called PERM. So a lot of people, they call the entire process PERM process, so which is technically just the first step. But the second and third step is common with NIW. That's why people don't say that, but you need employment, and that it's also a good option. So if you get a job, that's a good option too. But today we will focus with NIW. So for NIW, the minimum requirement is you must have a master's degree or equivalent degree. So there are some exceptions where you can apply with just a bachelor degree, but approval ratings are so low and there are so many risk factors. Most of the time I tell my clients, no, if you just have a bachelor degree, you should not apply for NIW. But since this is a seminar, let me tell you what are the exceptional situations where we can actually apply with just a bachelor degree. So let's say you have a bachelor degree in any field and you have 5 years of progressive work experience. So here progressive is very tricky and technical. So you must have a bachelor degree plus 5 years of progressive work experience. And progressive means you had promotions. So let's say you joined as an assistant manager and then you got promotion into a manager and then you got promotion into senior manager. So you had promotion. So you meet the criteria of progressive work experience. That means you had promotions in this 5 years. So you must have a bachelor degree and 5 years of progressive work experience. Most of the time, even with this bachelor degree and progressive work experience, USCIS do not approve that cases. That's why I say you must have a master's degree at least. And the master's degree can be from any country. It doesn't have to be American master's degree. It could be anywhere in the world, which is equivalent to US master's degree. And how do you know your degree is equivalent to US degree? There are some educational institutions who do evaluation. There are many organizations, I know 5 or 6, but one of the most famous one is WES, World Education Service. You can do your evaluation about your degree, and if they say yes, your master's degree is equivalent to US master's degree, you are good to apply for NIW. After master's degree, if you have a PhD degree, that's really good for NIW. So even though, let me see, what is the next slide? Okay, I'll go there later. So there's a lot of misconception about NIW. People think, oh, to apply for NIW, I must be a PhD student or must have a PhD degree, a lot of publication citation, which is not true. There are 3 tracks under NIW. One is called research track. For research track, yes, if you have a lot of publication, a lot of citation, your application would be better than others. And there's a big chance your NIW application would be approved. That being said, there are a lot of people who get NIW with master's degree with work experience without any publication or citation. You do not need a publication or citation to apply for NIW if you are in employment track. However, if you have a significant work experience with a good firm, like Google, Microsoft kind of company, the chances of your approval is very high. However, if you have an employment with like a small startup company, very new, you will still have a chance, but you must show that your employment is significant for US economy, for US interest. So this is still possible, but usually I say after your master's degree, you must have 1 year of experience where you made at least $65,000 in that year. Then your case is good. There is a third track, which is entrepreneurship track. In that track, you do not need research and publication citation. You also do not need work experience. But if you have a entrepreneurship experience, let's say you have a startup company, and after your master's degree, you are developing your business, you're developing your entrepreneurship, then you can also apply for NIW in that track. The problem with entrepreneurship track is it's very hard to prove many things, because just have an idea or just have a website or just have a small app does not prove that this app or this website or this startup company will have significant importance for American interest. You must prove that your endeavor, your business, your entrepreneurship will protect American interest. So that is the key point for the entire NIW application. So let me sum up with this thing. For NIW, you must have a master's degree. You must be either in research track or employment track or entrepreneurship track. Most of the cases, people are in research track. So they must have a good publication and good citation. So to qualify for NIW, you must have an advanced degree, that's I said, minimum master's degree or higher degree. Also, there is another option to go to NIW for exceptional ability. So here there is a 6 criteria, and you must meet 3 criteria among these 6 to qualify for NIW. However, if you have a master's degree, you don't have to worry about that. But sometime in our law firm, for our clients, we try to take both the route. We establish that, yes, my client meet advanced degree requirement. That means he has a master's degree. Also, my client meets exceptional ability. So he is good in either way. And that makes the case stronger. So, sorry. So here is the 6 criteria. Number 1 is official academic record. So you must have a degree. Yes, if you have a master's degree, definitely you qualify for number 1. Number 2, letters documenting at least 10 years of full-time experience in your occupation. Most of my clients do not have 10 years of work experience because most of them are international students. After their undergrad, they're directly enrolled in master's program, or sometimes even directly enrolled in PhD program. So then sometimes they have 1 or 2 years of experience, but they don't have 10 years of experience, which is totally fine. So most of my clients do not qualify for number 2. Number 3, a license to practice your profession or certification for your profession or occupation. So this is another thing. Most of the people do not qualify, which is totally okay. Like some professions requires licensing, like, lawyers, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, a social worker, it requires licenses. For engineers, there's a PE and FE exam. If you have license, that's great. But if you do not have, that's also okay. Also, in some professions, there's a certification, like Google certified, Cisco certified, Microsoft certified. Those certifications will also make you qualify for number 3. For the argument, let's see, you also do not qualify for number 3. That's totally fine. Number 4, evidence that you have commanded a salary or other remuneration for services that demonstrates your exceptional ability. So here, one important thing is, not only you have to have a good salary, your HR or your boss must recommend that, must write in that letter that you are getting this salary because of your exceptional ability. This term, exceptional ability, is very tricky. So a lot of time, HRs and other people, they don't want to mention that. They can mention that you work in that company, you do this, you make this salary, but they do not want to say that you make this money because you are a person of exceptional ability. And if they don't say that, you do not qualify for number 4. So in general, people qualify number 1 and then number 5 and number 6. That's why membership in a professional association is very important. A lot of time I tell my clients and they say, oh my God, I didn't know that. I said, yes. Membership in your field's professional organization. Let's say somebody is a student of chemistry. So if you're a member of American Chemical Society, that's really good for not only for your career, but also for your immigration purposes. So try to be member, and not just a simple paid member that you just make your payment and don't do anything. Please don't do that. Try to be more active. Try to join conferences, even though you're not publishing anything, you're not presenting anything. Just go there, hang out with people, hang out with professors. This is good for you. Also try to be involved. Let's say you were in their conference organizing committee, or you were a vice president of a small chapter, or you are a treasurer of a chapter. That's really helpful. Another helpful thing is awards and fellowships. There is a lot of small awards in almost every university, every department, a lot of fellowships, a lot of grants from federal government, state government, even municipal government. Try to get those awards and fellowship. Sometimes people calculate, oh, I only get like $500 from this fellowship or a scholarship, and I have to submit an essay. This is too much for me for $500. But I really encourage you to do that, because those $500 is nothing. But the certificate you're going to get, the recognition you're going to get, will help you in your career, for your promotion, also for your immigration purposes. So try to get all the awards, all the fellowships, all the recognition you can get. Those are really, really helpful for immigration. So most of my clients, they meet number 5. Number 6, recognition for your achievements and significant contribution to your industry or field by your peers, government entities, professors, or professionals or business organizations. So this is also a very good thing. This is where we need letter of recommendation from your professors or bosses or anybody in your field. So in the recommendation letter, they write, that you are a good person, you did all the great work, everything is perfect. So all the good things they write in their recommendation letters. Some law firms, they submit NIW application without recommendation letters, and I understand their point. But in our law firm, we really encourage you to do that, because let me tell you why. So as a lawyer, we cannot say anything without any evidence. So let's say 2 students, both of them, they're doing PhD in electrical engineering, and one is a really good student. He does all the good things, and another one is like an okay kind of a student. He's not doing good in his studies. However, both of their let's say both of their grades are same. It may happen sometimes. Some people, they don't do all the good things, but they get a good grade. So as a lawyer, in my eyes, also in USCIS eyes, both of them are similar, because both of them have same grades without any other evidence. However, if the student who is doing great, if he can get a recommendation letter from his professor that yes, this student is attentive in classes, he does all the homework on time, he does great thing in lab, and he is a very avid electrical engineer, that will add value. And then I, as a lawyer, I can say all this thing that the professor wrote in the recommendation letter, I just can copy and paste and say Professor X wrote this thing, because I have a evidence. Without those evidence, I cannot say that, even though I know you in person, but I cannot say that because I don't have any evidence. So letter of recommendations are good evidence when there is no other evidence, because without evidence, we cannot say anything. That's why I really like submitting recommendation letters. And I tell my clients, please submit at least 4 recommendation letters. And I'll talk in details about recommendation letters later. But recommendation letters are really helpful in NIW application, even though some law firms, they submit without recommendation letters. And I totally understand their point, but I personally believe recommendation letters are good. So as I said, there are 2 paths to go to NIW. One is advanced degree, one is exceptional ability. For advanced degree, you just need a master's degree. For exceptional ability, you need 3 of these 6, and most of my clients meet number 1, number 5, and number 6. However, even if you do not meet this criteria, you can still apply just because you have a master's degree. That's totally fine. But we personally think it's good to have both category covered. That makes your case stronger. Let me go to the yes. So when we start working with our clients, let's say somebody agreed, and oh, by the way, before going there, so if any of you are interested to evaluate your case for NIW, you can do it free. You can go to our website. In the home page, there's a button, it's called click here for free NIW evaluation. It's 100% free. There are like 6-7 questions. You can answer those questions and upload your CV and submit to us. We will evaluate your case and we'll tell you if your case is good for NIW or not. And also we will recommend you what are the things you should do to improve your case, the chances of approval. So let's say somebody submitted evaluation. We evaluated his profile. We offered 100% money back guarantee. That's kind of like the industry standard. We offered him, and the client signed the contract, start working with us. Then we need these 4 documents from them. One is a proposed endeavor. So this is very important for NIW application, a proposed endeavor. It means a future plan, a project proposal kind of thing. We want you to write a proposed endeavor at least half page, but if you write like a 1 page or 2 pages, that's good. And by the way, this proposed endeavor, we're not going to submit it to the USCIS. It's just for our purposes. So you write it in your way, and we will help you edit it, rewrite it. We'll help you with this. So write a future plan, what you want to do in near future. We recommend you to focus on your research career, because research is good for NIW rather than teaching. So even though you have a future plan to teach in a university, we encourage you to mention that you will be a researcher, and on the side of research, you will do teaching. So focus research. And not only just say, oh, I'll be a researcher, write little details like what kind of research, what kind of lab, from where you are thinking of getting fund, what kind of people you will hire in your lab, kind of little details about your research, and specifically content of the research, like what you want to do. So please pay special attention to proposed endeavor, and the good you will write proposed endeavor, the good your case would be, the better your case would be. Then we want 4 research or project summaries if client do not have a research summary. So that means, let's say somebody has 10 publications and a PhD degree. So we tell our clients, please determine 4 research that you did. It could be one of your 4 publications, or couple chapters of your PhD dissertation, or anything, and write a summary. It's not your abstract, because abstract is more of a scientific kind of thing. So just remember that we lawyers, we do not understand most of the scientific things, especially when you do PhD level research. It's a very in-depth research. I have no knowledge about polymer chemistry or something. So I encourage you to write those summaries in a very plain English, that anybody who has like a high school level English knowledge will understand what you are doing. And we provide sample for everything. We provide sample for proposed endeavor. We provide sample for research summaries and everything. So write research summaries, at least half page each, and submit to us for at least 4 research summaries or project summaries. If you do not have research experience, if you just have a master's degree and work experience, project summaries is good. Also, if you do not have a work experience but entrepreneurship experience, please write 4 aspects of your entrepreneurship experience and write a summary. And if you have any question, I'll answer about everything after this presentation. Then letter of recommendation. We discussed a little bit about letter of recommendation earlier. So we want 3 dependents and 3 independent recommendation letters. So dependent means with whom you worked before, like who was your professor, who was your boss, who was your supervisor. Anybody is a dependent recommender. People whom you did not work with are independent recommenders, like people who cited your publications, or somebody you met in a conference, or somebody you just know. But those people must be in your field. Probably your friends is doing PhD in another university. Ask your friend to get a recommendation letter from his supervisor, or your supervisor has friends in other universities who teach there. Please request your professor to contact with them and get recommendation letter for you. So 3 recommendation letters from people you never worked with. So 3 and 3, 6 is recommended. However, we require at least 4, 2 and 2, 4 at least. Otherwise, we do not want to submit your NIW application. The last one is detailed CV. So a lot of time, we just make a good resume. So for NIW, we want you to write a good detailed CV. Try your best to include everything that is connected with your education, your work, your co-curricular activities, everything. And once you submit all these things to us, we start writing your economic impact analysis. As I said before, NIW application is all about how your work is going to help America. So once we receive all these documents, we write a good 3-4 page economic impact analysis done by one of the economists who work in our firm. So we try to find dollar value for your work, how your contribution is going to improve America, American interest, and which industry, how many dollars it will add in American national income every year. So it's a pretty in-depth economic impact analysis. Also, you can also tell us like, hey, my research is very significant. Government is spending $10 billion in 10 years. So you can also contribute in those economic impact analysis. But if you do not want to, that's fine. We will do from our end. And once the economic impact analysis is done, we will start writing a petition. In general, we take 2 weeks to prepare your petition, and in general we take around 1 month to prepare everything and submit your NIW application. So at the same time we do write your petition. There are 4 forms we need to fill up. So we will send documents to you. You'll fill up your personal information, first name, last name, date of birth, kind of things. We'll fill up the forms, we'll send it to you. You'll double check, then you'll print, you'll sign, you'll send to our office, and we will submit everything from our end. So this is kind of the NIW things in short. Definitely there is a lot of things. So also I have let me do some a little marketing for me. So I have a YouTube channel. So I have 6 videos on NIW. If you are interested, you can go to YouTube and write Attorney Raju Mahajan and Associates, and you'll find all those videos. You can watch it. I explain details about everything. You will learn more. I think that's all about NIW. If you have any question, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Thanks so much, Mr. Mahajan. So we got a couple questions here. The first question is definitely, is the meeting being recorded? Yes. The meeting is being recorded and it will be uploaded on YouTube, and I'll send you all the link to the YouTube. And once it's uploaded, it's going to take a little while. And let's move on to the next question. The first question from the students is it only for STEM graduates, English graduates, English graduates, or ESL graduates? Can they get anything?
The answer is yes. So let me tell you about my background. So I had a master's degree in media studies from West Virginia State University. And I got my NIW based on my non-STEM subject. Media studies is not a science subject. However, I'm sorry for this situation, but this is the fact. So STEM students get a lot of benefits from this immigration system compared to non-STEM students, like English graduates or ESL graduates, or graduates from social science or other field. Media or literature. Number one, in STEM field, you have 3 years of OPT. In non-STEM field, only 1 year. Also, publication citation is very common. It's very easy to get a lot of publication citation in STEM field compared to non-STEM fields. But this NIW is for everybody. If you can show that your work experience is, your research is significant for America, then you can apply. And there are some benefits in non-STEM fields compared to STEM fields. Like, the person who said English literature, let's say you are doing research on, let's say somebody is from Burkina Faso or some very tiny African country or very tiny Asian country, like Bangladesh, this very small Asian country. So let's say you are doing research on Bengali literature. So your research would be very unique because very few people in America who do research in Bengali literature. So there is a good chance your research will be very unique and you will get extra benefit out of that. So there are some benefits for non-STEM students, but most of the benefits are for STEM students. So short answer to your question is everybody can apply, but it's easier for STEM students.
Thanks, Mr. Mahajan. Next question is, as first year of postdoc in the United States, what is the normal visa category? J1 or H1B or OPT? Please clarify this if this is right. If it is in H1B, a postdoc can apply for EB2 NIW soon, but for OPT, it is recommended to apply after they completed 1 year of OPT, because applying to EB2 before 1 year, this may affect the extension of OPT STEM.
Okay, so he asked a lot of questions. I'll try my best to answer everything. If I miss anything, please ask again. I'll definitely clarify. So for postdoc position, most of the most common visa is J1, and J1 visa also has 2 different categories. One is J1 with a 2 years home requirement and J1 without a 2 years home requirement. So J1 without 2 years home requirement is very similar like F1. It's like 99% similar. And J1 with 2 years of home requirement means after your J1 contract is over, you must go back to your home country and get a waiver. However, there is a way to, you must go back to your home country and perform your work for at least 2 years. However, there is a way to apply for a waiver and get approved within America, so you don't actually have to go back to your home country, which is, in that case, your J1 will be similar to F1. So you asked me question, what is the common visa? Is H1B, OPT, or J1? So it depends. If somebody has a PhD degree from a foreign country, let's say from a European country or Japan, Korea, from Bangladesh or anywhere, and if you directly come to America only for postdoc, then most common visa is J visa, J1 visa. However, if somebody already got a PhD from America, then most common visa is F1, actually OPT, because you can only apply for OPT once you have an American degree. Without American degree, you cannot apply for OPT. So let's say somebody has a PhD from America, applied for OPT, and then working as a postdoc. So that's another scenario. H1B, some university applies H1B for their postdoc, but not everybody. So you have to check with your international office, you have to check with your HR whether they are going to apply H1B. Not every school apply H1B for their postdocs. You have to double check, but some school does. Now the question is, he also asked me that those who are in OPT cannot apply for NIW before first year of their OPT is complete, which is not 100% right. There's a misconception about that. So let me clear the things. And after making my statement, if there's any question, I'll make it more clear. So NIW has 2 steps. The first one is called I-140, and the second one is called I-485. And until now, whatever I said today about NIW, I only talked about I-140, the first step. I did not say anything about the second step, which is basically just application for green card. So in legal world, everything has an intent. So this intent is technically it's a very simple thing, but sometimes it becomes very complex. So I-140 and I-485, both of them comes with the intent. Also your F1 visa, your J1 visa, your H1B, everything comes with the intent. So I-140's intent is to make you eligible for I-485. It doesn't have any immigrant intent. So you can apply for I-140 anytime. You do not have to wait 1 year after your 1 year of your OPT is over. As soon as you come to America, you can apply for I-140. Even before coming to America from foreign country, you can apply for I-140. There is no problem with that. It doesn't conflict with anybody, any visa category. However, I-485 conflicts with F1, J1 visa, not H1B, because H1B is a dual intent visa. F1, J1, M1 is a non-immigrant intent, and I-485 is an immigrant intent visa. So let's say you just started your OPT, you can still apply for I-485. It's not a problem with the application. The problem is if your I-485 application is pending more than 1 year, then after 1 year of your OPT, once you will be ready to apply for extension, STEM extension, another 2 years, since your I-485 is still pending, you cannot apply for OPT extension. Recently, I saw that USCIS still approves because Biden administration is kind of giving a signal that they will waive this intent thing for F1 visa holders or J1 visa holders, but officially it's still there. So technically, once your I-485 is pending, you cannot go to any new F1 visa or new J1 visa, new B1, B2 visa, or renew it. So once your I-485 is pending, if your OPT is over, you cannot apply for extension of OPT. That's why a lot of people, they say, oh, you should apply for 485 after 1 year of your OPT is over. That's that's a good way to say it, to be on the safe side. Legally, it's not true, but it's safer than the other option. So I say, yes, let's go for the safe option. But for I-140, you can apply anytime. So those are my answers. If I missed anything in his questions, please tell me.
I think Itiki has a couple more questions. So do you have any other questions like on this topic? If not, we'll move forward. So the next question is, are internships counted for employment?
Yes, yes, but internships is not as valuable as formal employment. So let's say if you say I did 3 months of internship in the middle of in summer last year, it still is employment. It's still work experience, but it's not as valuable as full-time work experience where you actually make money.
Next question. The years of experience, should it be in the United States?
No, it can be anywhere, but it must be in your field. So let's say somebody has 10 years of work experience, but 6 years in electrical engineering and 4 years in something totally different, like he had some tourism business. So then it's not 10 years, it's actually 6 years of experience. So it can be anywhere, but it must be in your field.
Next question, how many recommendation letters are required?
We recommend 6, but at least 4 is mandatory.
Next question, is it necessary to be specific in the recommendation letters? For example, to USCIS, to the Director USCIS of Texas, to the Adjudicator of USCIS, or can it be generic? For example, to whom it may concern?
Well, yes, it is still applicable if the writer, if the recommender says to whom it may concern, but if they specifically mention about USCIS, specifically mention about NIW, that will be even more, that will be stronger, because then USCIS understands that this recommender is giving this recommendation letter for this sole purpose. But if they don't mention about USCIS, if they don't mention about NIW, then it looks like, oh, he probably gave this recommendation for like a general purpose. So that kind of weakens the point, but it's still applicable.
Committee members of PhD final defense, not our direct PhD advisor, are they classified dependent or independent recommenders?
So if they're a member of your committee, then they're dependent. But even outside, sometimes you get outside expert, he's also dependent. But if there's anybody who is not in your committee and did not teach you, but a faculty in your university, can be independent.
Is there a cap on EB2 NIW?
No, there is no. I mean, there is no cap for EB2 NIW, but there is a country cap for the total number of green cards. So that's why sometimes people from India, China, Mexico, and Philippines, they struggle a lot to get NIW. That's why whenever we have any new client, I ask, where are you from? Which country you were born? If they say I'm from India, China, Mexico, or Philippines, then I say NIW is not good for you. It's not because of NIW, it's because of the country cap for the total number of green cards issued every year. So the short answer to your question is no country cap for NIW, but there is a country cap for overall green card.
Can we apply after master's degree in STEM field if we don't have work experience?
Yes, you can apply, but your case will not be as strong as somebody who has 1 year of work experience.
How many journal or conference articles would be good enough to apply? With how many citations? And I'll add to that question on his point that do the citations have to come from papers published as first author?
Okay, these are very good questions. So there is no magic number. There is no fixed number of publications or citation. It depends on your field. In some field, 40, 50 publication is a very common thing. Like almost everybody has 40, 50 publications. In some field, 2, 3 publication is a big deal. So it depends on your field. So how do you know what is the standard in your field? A lot of time, a lot of education related research firm like US News, Pew Research, they publish a average number of publications and citations in some fields. So Google it, try to find what is the average number of publication and citation in your field. If you find it, that's good. And if you are above average, then your profile is good. If you are under average, then your profile is not as good. That doesn't mean that your NIW will not be approved, but just your case is a little weaker than people who already have more than average. Now the question is, if you do not know what is the average, how do you determine? Ask your peer, ask your friends in the same lab or professor or other students, and ask like 10 people, and what is their number of publication and citation when they had PhD, and make it like an average and determine, oh, this is the average number, so I am below average or above average. So the short answer to the question is, it depends on the field. If you are above average of number of publication and citation, then you're good. If you're under average, then you're a little not as good as other. Now the question is, he said, does the citation has to be from the published paper or not? No, citation can be from electronic journal too. It can be anywhere. And citation can be from first author journal, second author, third author, anywhere. Now, let me tell you some other information. So when we submit NIW application, the first screening was done by a USCIS officer. They just check whether you meet the requirements, all the basic requirements. You fill the form, you sign the document, you pay the money, other thing. Once they determine that yes, you did all the basic requirements, then they send your application to an expert committee. There is 5 members in expert committee. At least 1 member is in your field and 4 others from 4 different fields. So in that expert committee analysis, they see everything very seriously, like how many citations you are from, how many citations are independent citations, and how many citations are self-citations. Even those independent citations, how many are from the same country where you are from, or how many are from the same university, where did you got your PhD or undergrad. So, a lot of students from big countries, they do a lot of citation of each other. So those things are determined by that expert committee. That's why I say the more you have independent citation, the more you have citation from different countries is good for your application. First author, second author, third author, they determine everything. However, in some field, it's really hard to get a publication as a first author. Like, let's say somebody who has a PhD degree in statistics. In most cases, they cannot publish anything by themselves. They usually work as a third author or fourth author of other department students. And those expert committee, they know everything about this. So they kind of determine based on the circumstance, based on the field, based on all the necessary information. So everything is important, but the expert committee also consider all the situations.
I'm not sure if I can clarify this question. Rodney, please hop in if you want to clarify it. Can we start validation of bachelor diploma by ourselves in the WES? Is this company that accreditates BS diplomas accredited by your company, accepted by your company?
Yes, if any diploma is validated by WES, in most US organization, university, or company, they will accept it.
Thank you. Next question is from Anona. I am a PhD with 5 or 6 years of experience in English literature. My evaluation credential is completed. I'm presently doing my master's in education from UNC Charlotte and University of London. I have license in education too. How to apply? Thank you.
I think you have a good profile since you already have a PhD and 5 years of experience. Now you're doing a master's in education from here in London. So what you have to do is you have to go to our website. You have to submit your information in our free evaluation. We will evaluate your case. We'll tell you how strong your case is, and we will send you documents. You can sign documents, make your first payment of $500, and you can start working with us.
Next question would be, are the research track and employment track considered to be separate tracks, or could I combine those tracks in my application?
You can combine. Those are not separate tracks. Those are like, we lawyers, we can have made this track. In USCIS's eyes, everything is same. We just make it easy for people to understand. That's why we made this track. But yes, you can combine 2 or even 3 tracks together.
What is the difference in regular EB2 with H1 versus EB2 with NIW?
So the big difference is NIW, you can apply by yourself. and you have to prove that you are a person of national interest. For regular EB2 with H1B or without H1B, you do not have to prove that you are a person of national interest. Also, your company must apply for you. You cannot do that. So those are the big difference. Also, in regular regular EB2, there is a perm process. You have to get labor certification, advertisement, hiring, all the things. Those take around almost 1 year. For NIW, you do not need to be worried about that. So it's like a totally different category. There's a big difference.
That's all from the chat. If anybody else has any question, you can ask Mr. Mahajan directly. Okay, we get one more question. In average, how much does it cost in EB2 NIW process?
A good question. So there are 2 steps. The first one is I-140 and the second one is I-485. For first one, our fee is $4,000. The government fee is $700. So total is $4,700 plus there's like a $25 fee for FedEx to ship your file to USCIS. So let's say $4,725. For the second part, I-485, our fee is $1,000. Government fee is $1,225, and again there is a $25 FedEx fee, so it would be like $2,250. The total would be like around $6,700 kind of dollars. And all this information is in our website, so if you miss it, you can check again later.
All right. Next, if there's nobody else have any other question, we'll wait for a few seconds. In the meantime, Mr. Mahajan, can you please give some suggestions to those who are looking to apply?
Yeah, I told before that I'll tell about how to get ready. I totally forget about that. So yes, those who are like very new students, like either a master's student or PhD student, who are thinking of NIW, so you definitely have enough time. I would recommend you to focus on your publication and citation. There is a thing called publication marketing, so which is sometimes a negative thing, sometimes a positive thing. So you have to make a connection with professors who are in board member for publications. Personal connection always help you. So try your best to make more publication, try your best to make more citations. Also try to network with older professors in your field, go to different conferences, try to become involved with your professional organization. As I said, if you are an electrical engineer, try to be member with IEEE, go to their conferences, do networking. Those things really help. And as I said, I have a whole video about this in our YouTube channel, how to get ready for NIW. I think those will be helpful. So in short, try your best to get awards, fellowship, and grants. Try your best to make as many publications as you can. Try your best to get a lot of citations. Try your best to go to conferences, making a networking. So those will really help you.
I think Yuan Ming, you just Mr. Mahajan just answered your question, so I'll move to the next one. How many EB2 NIW per month do you do normally?
In general, 25, 30 per month.
Next question is, if an application is rejected, can someone apply again?
Yes, you can apply again. You can also file appeal. You can also file resubmission of the same thing. So yeah, there are 2-3 different options, and yeah, you can apply again.
There are no other questions. Anybody else have any questions? Can I apply my NIW with my spouse, or I have to apply separately?
Another good question. So the first part, I-140, is apply by yourself. You cannot apply for any other person, and you do not need to apply for any other person, because I-140 is just for you. For I-485, you can apply for your spouse and any children under the age of 21. So let's say you have like 2 children, 2 years, 4 years old, and you must apply for everybody separately. everybody has their own forms. You can submit together to USCIS, but everybody has their own forms. So for I-485 application for each family member, but I-140 is for yourself.
We have 4 more minutes. If anybody have any other questions. If your kid is a citizen, does this help?
No. It's a very common question I get all the time. No, if you have a children who is US citizen, he or she cannot help you until he or she is 21 years old, which is a long way to go. So yeah, it doesn't help you.
If someone has an I-140, does NIW still help?
So I assume he's saying that if somebody has the I-140 approved from another application like PARM application, then I would say you do not need an NIW at this moment, because the NIW's point is I-140 that you already have approved one. So just wait for your priority date to be current in the visa bulletin and apply for 485. You do not need NIW. But if you want to apply, you can. There is no conflict between these two.
Okay, somebody asked, the free NIW case evaluation on your website doesn't seem to work. Is there any link you could share with us?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. I don't know why. I'll double check. But yeah, you can also email us. Email us your CV and those questions. Yes, we'll definitely evaluate your case and we'll get back to you.
If I apply for my spouse's I-485, can my spouse still hold a F1 visa?
That's another good question. So it's kind of there's a little gray area. So when somebody has the F1 visa, and after having F1 visa, if they apply for I-485, the F1 visa is still valid for the purpose of education. However, they cannot renew it, they cannot extend it, or they cannot do anything with that, not even international travel. So technically, you will still have F1 visa, but some of the benefits are restricted because you already submitted I-485 because of the conflict of intent. So yeah, answer to your question is yes, in some field still you have F1 visa, but in some field consider it that you do not have F1 visa.
Can H4 visa holders also apply?
Yes, anybody can apply for NIW.
Does graduate assistant count toward work experience?
No, but experience as a graduate assistant is good. We can mention that in petition, but it's not a work experience, because the work experience must be a full-time work experience.
All right, so we have 1 more minute. I'll take the last question if anybody has any remaining last minute thought. If you work as an instructor record, does it help?
Yes, yes, it helps.
I'll end with this question: how to demonstrate work experience? Paycheck?
Yes, paycheck, letter, employment letter from your employer. Also, if you have any other proof, sometimes people cannot get employment letter from their previous employers because probably they have bad relationship. Yes, paycheck is good. Also, bank. Sometimes we establish that with bank statement too. So, kind of any form of proof is good.
All right, so thank you so much, everybody. We have come to the end of our session. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to Mr. Mahajan at raju@rajulaw.com. I already posted that in the chat. Also, you can take a look at her website. And he's here only to help us with information. None of the things that he shared is by any means legal. So he's just here to share his experience, the information with us. So we are going to upload this video on YouTube, and I think he mentioned in the beginning that none of these, I'll repeat that again, that these are just informal information. If you have any other question, you can email him, Mr. Mahajan, at raju@rajulaw.com, and check out his website. And also, just feel free to stop by at our CGLL office. We have a new office at Atkins 149. It's right next to the Career Center. So Career Center is easy to find. It's right next to the front door of the Atkins Library. So if you come to the Career Center, you'll find us there, right next to the Career Center. So we hope that you really liked it and it helped you a lot. And hopefully we'll be doing this again in the next semester. And until then, thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for your time and everything. And thank you everybody else for your research, your time and everything. So that will be all for today. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much,
Okay.
everybody.